The world has seen tragedy in many forms. Wars, genocides, riots, killings, famines and whatnot. The real evil, however, lies within the architects of these inhuman practices. Men who advocated crime to a level no one else could fathom. Their decision wreaked havoc on humanity and all that comes with it. Here are 10 of the most evil to have ever been born. Kim Il-sung, 1912–1994, Kim Jong-il, 1941–2011, and Kim Jong-un, born 1983. Kim Jong-sung was the dictator of North Korea from 1948 to 1972. He started the Korean War, which resulted in the death of 3 million Koreans. People of Korea were forced and brainwashed to idolize him. His son Kim Jong-il continued his legacy after Sung's death, and Kim Jong-un is carrying on the same as he is dictator now. Millions have died of famine, starvation and execution, and some methods of torture have been barbaric. North Korea has suffered from almost 70 years and still suffering from the wrath and policies of their dictators for the third generation in a row. Leopold II of Belgium, 1835–1909, when king, he ruled over the Congo Free State, which was approximately 76 times the size of Belgium. He made the entire world believe that he was going to help Congo. But under his regime, between 1885 to 1908, the country was subjected to a reign of terror. Over 500,000 died of diseases and many died of starvation as well. He killed over 10 million Congolese, which was 50% of the population of Congo. All this, just to gain money and more power. Ivan the Terrible, 1530–1584. Ivan was the first Tsar of Russia. As a kid, he used to throw animals from the top of tall structures. Though he was intelligent, he had bouts of rage due to mental illness. During one, he even killed his own heir to the throne. He loved impaling, beheading, burning, strangling, frying, blinding and disemboweling people. Even in friends, he saw his enemies. In the Novgorod massacre, more than 60,000 people were tortured to death. Ivan died while playing chess with his friend. Idi Amin, 1952–2003. Idi Amin, who was the chief of army staff, had taken control of Uganda while President Obo had gone to Singapore to attend a meeting. He promised to bring prosperity to Uganda. But a week later, he declared himself president of Uganda. As dictator, he came to be known as the Butcher of Uganda. He killed people by feeding them to crocodiles, claimed he was a cannibal, mutilated one of his wives and rearranged her limbs. He killed and tortured around 500,000 people between 1971 to 1979 as ruler. He died of natural causes. Saddam Hussein, 1937–2006. He was the dictator of Iraq from 1979 to 2003. During his reign, he authorized countless attacks on people. His policies made way for the death of not less than 2 million people. He ordered chemical attacks, eye gouging, beatings and severe shocks on people. He also recorded several tortures and deaths to watch them later. Saddam was found guilty of crimes against humanity and hanged in 2006. Heinrich Himmler, 1900–1945. He was head of the SS and the brain behind the final solution to the Jewish question, that is, extermination of all Jews in Europe. Himmler had ordered the killing of about 6 million Jews, 2 to 5 lakh Russians and many other groups that the Nazis believed were unworthy of living. It is believed, not verified, that he had furniture made from the bones and skins of Jewish victims. He committed suicide and is buried at an undisclosed location. Pol Pot, 1925–1998. Pol Pot was the leader of the Cambodian revolutionary group the Khmer Rouge, which had orchestrated the Cambodian genocide. Pol Pot believed in destroying the Cambodian civilization in order to start a new regime and usher in a new age. He is probably the only man as history who ordered mass genocide on his own country. During his reign as Prime Minister from 1976 to 1979, his policies led to the death of around 2 million people, which was 25% of the entire population. He liked to keep the skulls of people he had killed, and he went as far as ordering babies to be torn limb by limb. He died of natural causes. Vlad the Impaler, 1431 to 1476–77. Vlad the Impaler was also known as Vlad Dracula. The character of Dracula was loosely based on Vlad, due to his sadistic personality and cruel acts done to the people of Wallachia, where he reigned as prince 3 times between 1448 to 1462 and killed about 20% of the population. He impaled the victim through the buttocks till the stake came out of the mouth. A German pamphlet once read, "He roasted children, whom he fed to their mothers." And, "He cut off the breasts of women, and forced their husbands to eat them. After that, he had them all impaled." In 1476, while marching to yet another battle with the Ottomans, Vlad and a small vanguard of soldiers were ambushed, and Vlad was killed and beheaded. By most reports, his head was delivered to Mehmed II in Constantinople as a trophy to be displayed above the city's gates. Joseph Stalin, 1878–1953. Iosif Vissarionovich Stalin was dictator of the Soviet Union from 1922 till his death in 1953. As a young man, he was a robber and an assassin. For almost 30 years, he reigned with terror and violence in the Soviet Union. His decisions led to a famine that killed millions. Forget enemies, he even killed families of people who were fond of him. Under his rule, more than 1.5 million German women were raped, and in all, he easily killed over 20 million people. He once said, "One death is a tragedy, a million deaths is simply a statistic." Ironically, he was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize in 1945 and 1948. He died of a stroke in 1953. Adolf Hitler, 1889–1945, the Chancellor of Germany from 1933 to 1945 and Führer of the Nazi Party. Adolf Hitler was perhaps the most intelligent, creative and brutal dictators of them all. He was largely responsible for the Holocaust and the Second World War. He believed that Jews were the root cause of all problems and set out to eliminate them. His actions resulted in death of over 50 million people. Hitler committed suicide in his bunker on the 30th of April 1945. Hard to believe that he was once a talented artist and part of a bohemian community.